They mastered the art of deception at the poker table. But when the cards were down, some of poker's biggest names found themselves trapped in real-life scandals they couldn't escape. From multi-million-dollar cheating schemes to criminal arrests that shocked the world. These aren't just poker stories, they're legal nightmares. Brace yourself for the most jaw-dropping moments when poker legends got caught on the wrong side of the law. Russ Hamilton wasn't just any poker player. He was a titan of the game. In 1994, he claimed poker's most prestigious prize, the WSOP main event bracelet, and a cool $1 million. Known for his sharp mind and aggressive play, Hamilton was once considered one of the greats in the poker world. But as his reputation grew, so did the size of his deception. The UltimateBet scandal didn't just damage Hamilton's name, it shook the foundation of online poker itself. Between 2003 and 2007, Hamilton exploited a vulnerability in the UltimateBet software, using a secret God mode to see his opponent's hole cards in real time. Over 4 years, he stole over $20 million from unsuspecting players, many of whom were professionals themselves. But it wasn't until 2008 that the truth came out, thanks to the persistence of whistleblowers and affected players who noticed something wasn't right. Once the scandal was exposed, the poker community was left in shock. The sheer scale of Hamilton's deceit was unparalleled, leading to one of the largest investigations in poker history. The Kanawake Gaming Commission, which regulated UltimateBet, forced the company to pay $23 million in refunds. But remarkably, Hamilton himself never faced criminal charges. The fallout was immense. UltimateBet's reputation was permanently destroyed, leading to its eventual downfall. For Russ Hamilton, his status as a poker legend turned into infamy overnight. Despite undeniable evidence of his involvement, he never publicly apologized or showed remorse. Today, his name is synonymous with betrayal, and the poker world still feels the effects of the scandal years later. Mike Postle wasn't a household name in poker, at least not before 2019. He played primarily small-stakes live games, most notably on the live-streamed Stone's Gambling Hall games in California. But by the time the scandal broke, Postul had become notorious, not for his skills at the table, but for one of the most brazen cheating scandals in poker history. Postul seemed unstoppable at the Stone's live games. Hand after hand, he made decisions that left even the most seasoned pros scratching their heads. He folded in situations where no one else would, and called massive bluffs with uncanny accuracy. Over time, his superhuman ability to consistently make the right move had players whispering, "Was he cheating?" In 2019, poker player and commentator Veronica Brill spoke out, accusing Postul of foul play. Her suspicions weren't unfounded. Postul had been winning at an almost impossible rate, making over $250,000 in low-stakes games, where such profits were unheard of. Brill's allegations sent shockwaves through the poker community. A group of players analyzed hours of footage, pointing out how Postul seemingly knew his opponent's hole cards, leading to accusations that he was receiving real-time information via his phone or some other hidden device. A lawsuit followed, with players seeking $30 million in damages, and Stone's Gambling Hall faced severe backlash for their alleged negligence. Despite overwhelming evidence and video analysis showing Postul's improbable plays, the case was eventually dismissed due to insufficient evidence, leaving many in the poker world furious. Postul himself denied all accusations, even going so far as to file a defamation lawsuit against those who spoke out. The Stone's live scandal highlighted a major vulnerability in poker's integrity. Postul's fall from grace was swift. Once seen as a poker savant, he became a pariah in the community. His name is now forever tied to one of the darkest chapters in poker, leaving a stain on the reputation of live-streamed games. Archie Carlos is a legend in gambling lore, known for one of the most unbelievable winning streaks the world has ever seen. He turned a mere $50 into $40 million over a 2-year period in the 90s, crushing poker tables and dominating high-stakes games in Las Vegas. But like many stories in the gambling world, what goes up must eventually come down. Carlos's rise to fame was as fast as his eventual downfall. After losing his entire $40 million fortune, Carlos's later years in the gambling world became much less glamorous. In 2013, he made headlines again, but this time, it wasn't for his skills at the table. Carlos was arrested in San Diego for marking cards at a blackjack table in a local casino. Security footage caught him in the act, and law enforcement moved quickly to bring charges against him. It wasn't the first time Carlos had run afoul of casino regulations. Throughout the years, he had been arrested multiple times for various gambling-related offenses. But this time was different. The once celebrated poker icon was convicted of felony charges for cheating and was sentenced to probation and ordered to pay restitution to the casino. The arrest marked a tragic chapter in the life of a man who had once been the king of Las Vegas. For Carlos, who had experienced both the highest highs and lowest lows in the gambling world, this was another reminder that the game can take as much as it gives. His arrest for cheating tarnished his legacy and left many wondering if desperation had driven him to make such a risky play. Eric Lingren was once considered one of poker's golden boys. A two-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner and a former World Poker Tour champion, Lingren had earned over 10 million in tournament winnings during his career. With his sharp instincts and calm demeanor, Lingren seemed to have it all: a stellar poker career, sponsorship deals, and the respect of the poker community. But behind the success, Lingren was fighting a losing battle with gambling addiction. His problem wasn't just at the poker table. It extended to sports betting, prop bets, and just about any kind of gambling he could find. Lindgren's personal finances spiraled out of control, and by 2012, he owed millions of dollars to fellow players, casinos, and creditors. The real blow came when Full Tilt Poker collapsed during the infamous Black Friday, the day the US government cracked down on online poker sites. Lingren, who was one of the shareholders in Full Tilt, found himself owing millions to the company and its players. He filed for bankruptcy twice, and it was revealed that he had amassed over $12 million in debt. In one instance, Lingren was sued for failing to repay a $2 million loan. The poker community, once supportive of Lingren, grew frustrated as stories of unpaid debts and broken promises emerged. His fall from grace was swift, and his addiction had cost him more than just money. It damaged relationships and his reputation within the game. Lingren eventually sought treatment for his gambling problem and attempted to rebuild his career, but his legacy will forever be tied to the financial scandals and his struggle with addiction. Phil Ivey, often referred to as the Tiger Woods of poker, is widely regarded as one of the greatest poker players of all time. With 10 World Series of Poker bracelets, millions in tournament winnings, and a reputation for outplaying even the toughest competition, Ivey's place in poker history seemed untouchable. But in 2012, his name would be tied to one of the most controversial gambling lawsuits ever. It all started at the Borgata Casino in Atlantic City, where Ivey and his accomplice, Kelly's son, used a technique known as edge sorting while playing baccarat. By identifying subtle imperfections on the back of the cards, Ivey was able to gain a significant edge over the house, winning close to $10 million. The casino, unaware of the tactic at the time, paid out the winnings. But when they later realized what had happened, they filed a lawsuit, accusing Ivey of cheating. Ivey argued that edge sorting was a legitimate strategy, claiming he never altered the cards or broke any rules. He maintained that it was the casino's responsibility to ensure their cards were up to standard. But the courts didn't see it that way. In 2016, a federal judge ruled against Ivey, ordering him to pay back the $10 million in winnings. The lawsuit was a major blow to Ivey's spotless reputation, though many in the poker community stood by him, believing that he merely outsmarted the casino. The legal system labeled it cheating. Ivey continued to fight the ruling, appealing the decision, but the damage to his image was done. It wasn't just the loss of money that hurt. It was the fact that one of poker's greatest players had been embroiled in a legal scandal that would follow him for years to come. Paul Fua is a well-known high-stakes poker player, often seen battling it out in some of the richest cash games in the world. With millions on the line, Fua has made a name for himself as a fearless competitor who isn't afraid to take massive risks. But it wasn't just on the poker table where Fua rolled the dice. His involvement in the world of illegal sports betting would land him in serious legal trouble. In 2014, during the FIFA World Cup, Fua was arrested at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas for allegedly running an illegal sports betting ring. According to the FBI, Fua and a group of associates were using a luxury villa at the casino to take in hundreds of millions of dollars in illegal wagers on World Cup matches. The raid was part of an international sting operation that led to Fua's arrest and the seizure of millions of dollars. Fua, who has strong connections in the world of poker and high-stakes gambling, was no stranger to controversy. This wasn't his first run-in with the law. He had been arrested in Macau for similar charges just months before. Despite the serious accusations, Fua maintained his innocence and hired a legal team that included high-profile lawyers and poker legend Phil Ivey, who posted his $2 million bail. In the end, the case against Phua fell apart. His lawyers successfully argued that the FBI had violated Phua's rights by conducting an illegal search of his villa, leading to the case being dismissed in 2015. Though he avoided prison, the scandal left a mark on Phua's career, raising questions about the darker side of the gambling world. Still, Phua continues to be a major player in both poker and sports betting, but his name will forever be tied to one of the biggest illegal gambling busts in recent history. Tom Dwan burst onto the poker scene as one of the most feared and respected players in the high-stakes world. Known for his fearless aggression and willingness to risk it all, Dwan quickly made a name for himself, taking on poker legends in some of the biggest cash games ever played. But while Dwan's rise to fame was meteoric, rumors began to swirl about his connections to something far more dangerous than poker: the Chinese triads. In the early 2010s, Dwan became a regular in Macau's ultra-high-stakes poker games, where millions of dollars would change hands in a single night. These games were often shrouded in secrecy, and many believed that organized crime figures, particularly the Chinese triads, were heavily involved in funding and facilitating the games. Though there's no direct evidence linking Dwan to any criminal activities, whispers of his associations with these dangerous figures began to surface, raising eyebrows in the poker community. The triad rumors gained traction when Dwan suddenly disappeared from the poker world for a while, leading many to speculate that he had gotten in too deep with the wrong people. Some believed he owed large sums of money to triad-backed players, while others suggested that the games in Macau were simply too risky, even for someone as fearless as Dwan. Despite the allegations, Dwan has never publicly addressed the rumors, and no formal charges were ever brought against him. He later resurfaced in high-stakes games around the world, but the mystery surrounding his involvement in Macau's underground poker scene remains a cloud over his career. Whether he was truly mixed up with dangerous criminals or simply a victim of gossip, the triad rumors have become a lasting part of the Tom Dwan legend. Antonio the Magician Esffelari is one of poker's biggest stars, known not only for his skills at the table, but also for his playful personality. With over 27 million in tournament earnings and the largest single win in poker history, Esffelari's career has been one for the books. But in 2016, it wasn't his poker skills making headlines. It was an incident that left the poker community stunned. During the PokerStars Caribbean adventure, Esffelari accepted a wild $50,000 prop bet with businessman Bill Perkins. The challenge? For 2 days, Esffelari had to lunge everywhere he went. No walking, just lunging. While it started out as a humorous test of endurance, things took a bizarre turn on day 2, when Esffelari's legs were so exhausted that he couldn't make it to the bathroom in time. Instead, while the rest of the players were on break, Esffelari remained at the poker table and urinated into a bottle. His actions were deemed a serious breach of tournament etiquette, and he was disqualified from the $5,300 buy-in main event. Despite the embarrassing incident, Esffelari quickly took responsibility, apologizing publicly and pledging to donate the $50,000 he won from the bet to charity. Though the lunging incident has become an infamous part of Esffelari's career, it also showcased his ability to take ownership of his mistakes, proving that even the biggest poker stars can find themselves in awkward situations. Stu Angar, often hailed as one of the greatest poker players of all time, was a genius at the table. Known for his lightning-fast mind and his unparalleled ability to read opponents, Angar won the World Series of Poker main event 3 times, solidifying his legacy as a poker legend. But while his poker skills were second to none, his personal life was a different story, one filled with addiction, arrests, and self-destruction. Angar's battles with drug addiction were well documented, and they played a major role in his downfall. Throughout his career, Angar struggled with cocaine addiction, a habit that would land him in and out of legal trouble. He was arrested multiple times for drug possession, and his erratic behavior off the table became a sad reflection of the inner demons he was fighting. Despite his immense talent, Angar's drug problems led to countless missed opportunities and a rapid decline in his health. He often disappeared from the poker scene for long stretches, only to resurface in poor condition. By the late 1990s, his addiction had taken a severe toll. He was virtually bankrupt, living in cheap motels and physically deteriorating. In 1997, against all odds, Angar managed to win his third WSOP main event. But even that incredible comeback couldn't save him from his personal demons. Just over a year later, in 1998, Angar was found dead in a Las Vegas motel from a drug overdose. His tragic story serves as a cautionary tale of what happens when addiction takes over, even for a mind as brilliant as Stu Angar's. His poker legacy remains intact, but his personal life was marred by arrests, drug abuse, and a tragic, untimely end. Sam Grizzle was known as much for his sharp wit and relentless trash-talking as he was for his poker skills. A frequent competitor in high-stakes games, Grizzle was a polarizing figure in the poker world, loved by some for his brash personality and feared by others for his unpredictable behavior. But it wasn't just his table talk that got him into trouble. Grizzle's temper led to multiple run-ins with the law, including an infamous altercation that resulted in assault charges. In one of the most talked-about incidents of Grizzle's career, he reportedly got into a physical fight with poker legend Phil Hellmuth during a heated poker game. The confrontation didn't stop at words. Grizzle, never one to back down from a challenge, allegedly took things too far and the situation escalated to blows. But this wasn't the only time Grizzle found himself in hot water. Throughout his poker career, Grizzle had several other legal issues, including assault charges that stemmed from altercations both on and off the poker table. His volatile personality made him a controversial figure with a reputation for stirring up trouble wherever he went. Despite his brushes with the law, Grizzle continued to play poker until his passing in 2020, though his legal troubles and fiery temper often overshadowed his talent at the table. Grizzle's name will forever be linked to some of the most memorable and chaotic moments in poker history. Farz Jaka, often called the homeless millionaire for his nomadic lifestyle and refusal to settle down, has made millions from poker tournaments around the world. Known for his unconventional life and sharp poker skills, Jaka became a respected figure in the poker community. But in 2014, Jaka found himself at the center of an unusual legal battle, one that didn't take place at the poker table, but inside his own home. The incident occurred during a high-stakes home poker game that Jaka hosted. In a shocking turn of events, an intruder broke into Jaka's home, injuring one of the guests who was attending the game. The situation quickly escalated, and Jaka found himself facing a lawsuit from the injured guest, who claimed that the home invasion was a result of lax security measures and that Jaka was liable for the damages. Though Jaka wasn't directly involved in the attack, the lawsuit sparked questions about the safety and security of high-stakes private games, where large sums of cash are often in play. The case eventually settled, but it left a lasting impact on Jaka, who became more cautious about hosting private games in the future. Farz Jaka's poker career has continued, but the incident remains a reminder of the unpredictable dangers that sometimes come with playing outside of the casino. Even the best poker players can't always control the risks that come with the game, and for Jaka, this legal brush was a stark reminder of that reality. And there you have it, the poker stars who gambled with more than just their chips. From cheating scandals that rocked the industry to personal battles with addiction and crime, these players learned the hard way that not even the best poker face can save you when the law's on the table. But who knows? In the world of poker, new scandals are just one bad hand away. Could the next big name in poker be on the wrong side of the law? Keep watching, and we'll be here to deal you the truth. If you enjoyed this deep dive into poker's legal scandals, make sure to check out our latest video on the lavish and extravagant lifestyle of poker's wild child, Dan Bilzerian. From luxury yachts to outrageous parties, you won't believe what this poker star gets up to. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video.